Hare Krishna, thank you all so much for joining us today. We are continuing our Bhakti Vaibhav class, and we are in chapter number 13, Dhritarashtra quits home. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दत्तारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं कृष्णचैतन्यमीश्वरम् नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्रीकृष्णचैतन्या प्रभो नित्यानन्दा श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवसादि गौरभक्तवृन्दा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयं मुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. We are continuing the chapter Dhritarashtra quits home. So we have seen so far in this chapter that Vidura, he comes back to the kingdom so that he can enlighten his brother Dhritarashtra. And when Vidura came, everybody received Vidura with a lot of love and affection, like as if their life force had come back to them. And Vidura comes and he begins to inspire Dhritarashtra in various ways. That was the reason why he came. So he tells Dhritarashtra that you're simply being maintained like a dog in the house of Bhima, who was responsible for killing all your sons, and still you have no shame. You're sitting here. It is high time that you leave this place and you go take a Vanaprashta. This is even after this age, you should not be here. Your sight is gone from birth. Your teeth has become loose now. You're coughing up phlegm. You're getting very, very old, and still so much attachment is not at all recommended. So it is better you leave home and you go for Vanaprastha. So he inspires Dhritarashtra in various ways. And of course, when Dhritarashtra leaves, along with Dhritarashtra, Gandhari also leaves. And because both Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, and Vidura went suddenly missing, Yudhishthir Maharaj was actually very disturbed at this point in time. He was very disturbed in the morning when he got up. He saw that Gandhari was missing, Dhritarashtra was missing. They had all gone, and he started feeling bad that maybe it is because of me. Maybe it is because of me. I am not able, because I am not giving them proper attention. Maybe they got offended. That is the reason they left home. Okay. So that is how he felt. And in the previous verse, we saw how Maharaj Yudhishthir turned to Sanjaya, who was sitting there, and he asked Sanjaya, "Where is my uncle? Do you know where he is? And where is Vidura? Where is Gandhari? It appears that I'm a very ungrateful person. Did they take my offenses very seriously? By any chance, did they go and drown themselves in the Ganges?" So he begins to ask Sanjaya like this. And he tells about Vidura's services, that Vidura was so close to them, and he was taking care of Yudhishthir Maharaj and his brother since they were children. Um, he was always a great well-wisher. Where did he go? So the reason he asked Sanjaya is because Sanjaya is a very close associate of Dhritarashtra. He was a minister come charioteer. So we have seen this earlier also. Sometimes the charioteer and they play a dual role. Charioteer come minister. We see this even in the case of Sumantara for Dhasharat Maharaj. He was a charioteer come minister. So the reason they say is because when the king goes to the sabha, or when he is going out for to perform his duties, or when he's coming in, whatever it is, whenever he goes on the chariot with his charioteer, there is a chance for him to confide a lot of things. It is an opportunity for him to associate and speak a lot of things. So generally, a minister, a person who's in the caliber of a minister, can become the charioteer of great kings. Okay, so we see here Sanjaya was the minister come charioteer. Of course, the minister per se in the assembly was Vidura, no doubts about it. But Sanjaya was also a very, very close associate. And we see in Bhagavad Gita how Sanjaya has given a lot of importance. Sanjaya Uvacha. We see how Sanjaya is able to relay whatever is happening in the battlefield. So he's definitely a very close associate of Dhritarashtra, and Dhritarashtra always confided a lot of matters in him. So which means Sanjaya was very close and he would know every single activity of Dhritarashtra. So that is the reason Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking Sanjaya. So now the Sanjaya Sutta, because he's charioteer. So we see Sutta Uvacha. Wait a minute, am I getting it mixed up? No, sorry, this is Sutta Goswami. Please forgive me for that mistake. Sorry. It is Sutta Goswami. So this is the conversation between Sutta Goswami and Shaunakadi Rishis, the Srimad Bhagavatam. So Sutta Goswami is narrating from verse number 35. It says, Kripaya Sneha वैक्लव्यात् सूतो विरह कर्षितः आत्मीश्वरम् अचक्षाणो न प्रत्याहाति पीडितः. Sutta Uvacha, what did Sutta say? He said, let me just shut down, give me a second. Okay. So this is Sutta Goswami. In this verse, this is Sutta Uvacha, but then he's talking about Sutta, who is actually Sanjaya. Okay, so Sutta is talking about what happened, and he mentions Sutta, who is Sanjaya. So what did he say in the translation it was mentioned? Sutta Goswami said, because of compassion and mental agitation, Sanjaya, not having seen his own master Dhritarashtra, was aggrieved and he could not properly respond to Maharaj Yudhishthira. So why was Sanjaya Sutta? Why was he distressed? Because he had a lot of affection to Dhritarashtra. So because of compassion and mental agitation, not finding his master, he was very aggrieved when he could not even reply properly to Yudhishthira Maharaj. So in the purport, Prabhupada explains why he was aggrieved. Sanjaya, he was a very close associate and a personal assistant of Dhritarashtra for a very long time. And he knew every aspect of Dhritarashtra's life, like I mentioned in the beginning. And now that he realized that Dhritarashtra had left home without even telling him, because all these years he was thinking he's very close to Dhritarashtra, he knows every move of Dhritarashtra. But Dhritarashtra didn't even tell him, he just went away. So Sanjaya felt so compassion towards Dhritarashtra. The Acharyas mentioned here because Sanjaya was thinking, how will my master go and survive if he has left home? If he has gone somewhere, how will he maintain himself? So that is the reason where Sanjaya was feeling compassion for Dhritarashtra. Oh, what will he do now? He's an old man, what will he do? He was also compassionate towards Dhritarashtra because in the game of battle of Kurukshetra, this king Dhritarashtra had lost everything. He had lost his money, his men, his relatives. And at last, this after losing everything, he's just gone missing. He and his queen, they had to leave home in utter frustration. He was thinking like that. But however, Sanjaya, though he had studied the life of Dhritarashtra, he didn't know what had recently happened. Recently, Dhritarashtra was inspired by Vidura and his eyes were awakened, like his mental eyes were awakened. And that is the reason he left home. And he didn't leave home in frustration. Rather, he left home in enthusiastic cheerfulness to get a better life from this materialistic entangled life. What is that better life? Focusing on the supreme and attaining perfection. So Sanjaya didn't understand that Dhritarashtra had gone with happiness, with cheerfulness. So Prabhupada very emphatically tells us that unless you're convinced that there is a better life after renunciation, there's a better life beyond this present life, one cannot really stick to the renounced order of life nicely. See, if we have taken premature sannyas, if someone has taken premature sannyas, or he has renounced everything without realizing the value of what he is going to undertake, then his renunciation is immature. It is not at the right time, right? So a person who's renouncing should have full conviction that the life after renunciation is far better than this materialistic life. Unless he is convinced, he cannot hold on to the vows of renunciation. Unless one is convinced of a better life after renunciation of the present life, one cannot stick to the renounced order of life simply by artificial dress or staying out of home. So we see here in this case, at this point in time, Dhritarashtra was completely convinced and he went out cheerfully. But Sanjay didn't understand that. Sanjay felt a lot of compassion. How is he going to manage? He's such an attached person. So like that Sanjaya was thinking, but he didn't realize the impact that Vidura had on Sanjaya. Text 36. वृमृज्याशूलिपाणिभ्यां वष्टाभ्यात्मानमात्मना अजातशत्रुं प्रत्युचे प्रभो पादौ अनुस्मरन्. Anyone wants to read translation?
Hare Krishna Mataji. First, he slowly pacified his mind by intelligence and wiping away his tears and thinking of the feet of his master Dhritarashtra, he began to reply to Maharaj Yudhishthira.
So his eyes were filled with tears and he began to reply to Yudhishthir. Yudhishthir's name here in this verse is Ajata Shatru. Ajata Shatru means one who has never seen an enemy. Actually, Yudhishthir Maharaj was so dharmic that nobody wanted to have enmity with Yudhishthir Maharaj. He was well liked by everybody, but of course, the Kauravas did have enmity. But other than the long-lasting enmity since childhood with the Kauravas, nobody had big-time enmity with Yudhishthir Maharaj. And even in the Rajasava Yajna, we see how Yudhishthir Maharaj came through victorious. Nobody wanted to challenge the horse. Nobody wanted to challenge the absolute emperorship of Yudhishthir Maharaj. Yes, Satyam Prabhu, please ask your question, Prabhu.
No, Mataji, I think we lost the sharing the screen.
We lost the sharing?
Yeah.
Mataji, we can see. Yes, Mataji, we can see.
Okay, I'll again reshare. If somebody's lost it, I'm doing it again. Now better, everybody?
It's like black screen. Maybe I will rejoin Mataji and see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. So like Saudamani Mataji read, first he slowly pacified his mind and intelligence. He wiped away his tears, his throat was fully choked up. He began to think about the lotus feet of his master, Dhritarashtra, and he began to reply to Ajatashatru. So what did he tell Ajatashatru? What did he tell him? Sanjaya Uvacha. Naham Veda Vyavasitam Pitrorva Kulanandana Gandharya va Mahabaho Mushitosmi Mahatmadhi. So he says Pitaro and Pitaro, two Pitras, the two fathers, and Gandhari. So he says these three people, the two Pitas and Gandhari, all of them, it appears that they are not around. So he feels very bad and he says, my dear descendant of the Kuru dynasty, I have no information of the determination of your two uncles and Gandhari. I have been cheated, he says. Mushita means to be cheated. He says, I'm thoroughly cheated by them, by these great souls. He feels cheated because he feels that they didn't even tell me. I thought I was very close to them, but they didn't even tell me. So he felt thoroughly cheated, and he said, they just cheated me and they went away. So he was complaining to Ajatashatru. And the Prabhupada very nicely in the purport, he talks about transcendental cheating. Devotees do transcendental cheating, right? So Prabhupada talks about it. He says, sometimes great souls, they cheat others, and this may be astonishing to know. How can such a great personality like Vidura do cheating business, one may think. But then great souls will cheat others for a great cause. If there is a higher cause in mind, then one may cheat. Hmm? So we know sometimes when people go for book distribution, they say some fancy things, and then they say, oh, you take up to Krishna consciousness, this will happen, that will happen, all sorts of promises. And that is all transcendental cheating, yeah. And but however, yes, definitely we get the highest benefit in Krishna consciousness. So it is not a lie, but it is like enticing somebody. You know what? You will get something out of this because in this world everyone wants some benefit. So somehow or the other, they will take up the Krishna consciousness, and then later, initially we just say, "Oh, you just have to chant 2 rounds. That is more than enough." We just try to follow some regulative principles. Then slowly, as they get taste for it, we say, "No, no, no. 2 rounds is not enough. You have to chant 8 rounds." Then it becomes 16 rounds. Initially, we say it's okay, even if you're probably doing breaking one of the regulator principle, it's okay, you can still follow. Then we start pushing hard. We say no, 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 you have to follow all these regulator principles. And then we say okay, you have to start following Ekadashi now. Like that we keep doing, we keep adding and adding and adding. But initially we say it's a very easy process, you just have to eat, dance, feast and enjoy. This cheating, it is not so easy, but still it is done for a higher cause. So great people, they cheat others for a great cause. And we also know how Krishna, he also cheated in the war. Krishna did a lot of cheating in the war, but all this was transcendental cheating. For example, at one point he asked Yudhishthir Maharaj to lie before Dronacharya, saying that Ashwatthama is dead. But Yudhishthir Maharaj, what did he do? He didn't want to lie because he was known for being Dharmatma. He didn't want to lie, and he said Kunjara later. But we know how, because of that, he had to see the hellish planets in his dream. So, anyhow, so the Lord wanted even Yudhishthir Maharaj to lie before Dronacharya. But why did he want to do all this? It was for a greater cause. What is the Lord going to get benefit out of all this, right? It is for a higher cause that the Lord is doing it. The Lord wanted it, so it was a great cause. So, in fact, satisfaction of the Lord is is the criterion of one who's bona fide, and the highest perfection of life is actually to satisfy the Lord, and that is our true occupational duty. What is our true occupational duty? To satisfy the Lord. This is also the verdict of the Bhagavad Gita. So Dhritarashtra and Vidura, they were followed by Gandhari, and they went to the forest, but they did not tell their determination to Sanjaya. Why they never told him? Because they didn't want to be stopped. They were completely determined that they wanted to go. And Sanjay never thought that Dhritarashtra could perform some activity without telling him. But then Dhritarashtra thought that this is a very confidential thing. I can't keep telling everybody. It's time for me to go. So he cheats. He cheats and he goes away. There's another example given of Sanatana Goswami. We all know how Sanatana Goswami, he cheated the keeper of the prison before he went to see Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he says a lie and then he bribes and he gives some money and he goes away. We all know the story. Similarly, we see how Raghunath Das Goswami, he also cheated the priest at home and he ran away from home for a higher cause. In fact, he was tied down so that he doesn't leave home. But somehow or the other, he cheated and he ran away from home. So why did all this cheating happen? Even Prabhupada, he talks about himself in this purport. He says, even I have done this to for a higher cause. I also left family for the sake of propagating Krishna consciousness. So to satisfy the Lord, anything is good as long as it is in relationship with the absolute truth. They says even I had the same opportunity to cheat my family members and leave home to engage in the service of Srimad Bhagavatam. So such cheating is sometimes necessary for a great cause, and actually there is no loss for any party when it is done for a higher cause. Initially, many people ask this question, especially when great transcendentalists, they take sannyas, like for example, Srila Prabhupada or Ramanujacharya. So many personalities, they were grihasthas, and suddenly they just take sannyas, leaving their wife. So they ask this question, oh, isn't the wife is the one who suffers the most? So it may appear on the surface, oh, maybe they are suffering, but then it is for a higher cause. And even the wife is ultimately benefited because Prabhupada's wife, she was married to such a great personality. Obviously, her path home, back to Godhead is already determined, it is decided, right? She would go even before Srila Prabhupada because she served such a great personality. Like that, everybody is benefited somehow or the other. In fact, they get the highest benefit. And Prabhupada says there is no loss for any party in such transcendental fraud. It is not ordinary fraud, it is transcendental fraud. So there is no loss anywhere. It is all for satisfying Krishna. If Krishna is satisfied, everybody is satisfied. And there is no question of mundane fallacy in such activity. 38. अथा जगाम भगवान् नारदः सह तुम्बुरुः प्रत्युत्थ्याभिवाद्याय सानुजो अभ्यचर्यन् मुनिम्. Anyone wants to read translation?
Can I read, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you. While Sanjay was thus speaking, Sri Narada, the powerful devotee of the Lord, appeared on the scene carrying his tumburu. Maharaj Yudhishthir and his brothers received him properly by getting up from their seats and offering obeisances. Thank you.
Jai Kaviraj. Here I have a comment to make. It says Naradaha Saha Tumburu. If you see the verse, Ata Jagama Bhagavan Naradaha Saha Tumburu. Bhagavan Narada with Tumburu. That is the understanding. But why? Tumburu is actually a personality, by the way. Narada and Tumburu, they are pair sages in many Carnatic music, Hindustani music also. You must have heard some kritis, kirtans about Narada and Tumburu. They are great sages. They are oftentimes seen together. Just like how Parvat Muni and Narada Muni are sometimes seen together. But then why is it mentioned Tumburu, a musical instrument? The reason is because Jiva Goswami clarifies in Kramasandarbha, you see. He says there was another rendition to the same verse. And if you read the commentary given by Srila Jiva Goswami, he says this verse can be read in a different way. It's some of the editions of Srimad Bhagavatam say that Narada and Tumburu came while Narada was playing the veena. Okay. So in this particular verse, in the translation, what has happened is they've just mixed the two verses together and they say Narada playing the veena. It should be along with Tumburu came. Instead of that, it just says Narada playing the veena or the instrument has come, like that. That's how the translation comes through in this particular verse. But the correct understanding is Tumburu is actually a personality and Narada Muni playing the veena along with Tumburu has come. We should read the translation like that. Okay. There are two ways to understand this. That is the conclusion that is given. And maybe another reason why the tumburu is called as a musical instrument in this particular place is because tampura is an instrument pretty much. It is also like a veena, and sometimes you see Narada with a tampura. So that's why probably there is a mix here, amalgamation here, and it is just read as Narada along with tumburu. You can understand Narada came with the veena. You can also understand it as Narada came with the personality tumburu. Okay. Just wanted to clarify that. Okay. So while Sanjaya was speaking, Narada and Tumburu, or Narada playing the veena. He comes there, and Yudhishthir Maharaj and all his brothers, they receive the sage appropriately. Now, this is interesting. Whenever there is a problem, whenever there's confusion, whenever there is enlightenment needed, who comes? Narada Muni comes. Narada Muni is pretty much the guru of everybody. Right from the first canto till the 12th canto, you will find Narada Muni's role everywhere, enlightening so many devotees. That's why it is also mentioned sometimes Vyasadeva wrote the Bhagavatam as an offering to his spiritual master, because he brings a spiritual master everywhere. And Narada's caliber is so amazing that right from a small child like Prahlad or Dhruva up to kings like Maharaj Yudhishthir, to great sages like Srila Vyasadeva, everybody is Narada Muni's disciple. So this is the greatness of Sripad Narada Muni. And here we see that Narada Muni appeared at the right time. So, like this, from time to time, in every part of Srimad Bhagavatam, he will appear at the right time to inspire devotees to take up the Krishna consciousness. So, at this point, it appears there's a calamity, right? Sanjaya is very upset. Yudhishthir Maharaj is very upset. Yudhishthir is now going to go on a guilt trip. He's going to say everything because of me, everything because of me. And Narada had to literally shake him up and wake him up. So that's the reason why Narad appears at this point. And Prabhupada says, if you see this purport, it says Bhagavan Narada, right? Bhagavan, he's called as Bhagavan. Why is he called Bhagavan? Because of the opulence that he has. What is the great opulence of Narada Muni? He is the confidential devotee of the Lord. And we have also seen in the first canto, chapter 3, how he is mentioned as one of the empowered incarnations of the Lord. So he's rightly called as Bhagavan Narada. So Bhagavan Narada, being the confidential devotee of the Lord, who's always engaged in the loving devotional service of the Lord, is empowered to travel everywhere. He goes everywhere preaching the glories of the Lord. He carries his veena and he goes from one place to the other. And he goes to convert all the. Prabhupada's so sweet, you should read this. It's so nice. I'll just read this for your pleasure. See how nicely Prabhupada says. Actually, Narada Muni, he goes everywhere to convert all the non-devotees of the Lord into devotees, to bring them to the platform of sanity. Okay, so he says Narada Muni travels all around the world to convert non-devotees to devotees so that they can come to the platform of sanity. They can have some sense. Now here he very emphatically says this. Look at his words. He says, actually every living being cannot be a non-devotee of the Lord. Can we say devotee, non-devotee? Actually, that we should not even say like that, Prabhupada says. Because every jiva is constitutionally a part and parcel of Krishna. Jivera Swarapa, Krishna Nityadas. We are all Krishna's das, right? That is our constitutional position. Every jiva is rightfully the child of the Lord. So he says every living being cannot be a non-devotee. How can you be a non-devotee? How can anybody be a non-devotee? Nobody can be a non-devotee simply because of his constitutional position. But then he becomes a non-devotee or a non-believer. It is to be understood that the person concerned is not in a sound condition of life. There is a disease, there is a problem, there is a mental condition for that person. That's why he's claiming himself to be a non-devotee. But actually, everybody is a devotee. Hmm? This is only an illusion. Even the Upanishads actually, they say that the faith is actually inherent to the soul. It cannot be separated. If someone says, I'm an atheist, I don't believe in God, that statement cannot even be taken to be correct simply because faith is inherent for everybody. He's saying, I don't believe in God. That means he's already acknowledged there is a person called God. So it's a very tricky thing, this atheism. But he has faith in something else. He has faith in every next second he's going to live. He has a faith. He has a faith in so many things, right? But he fails to say that I have faith in God. They call themselves agnostics sometimes, they call themselves atheists, but all this is artificial. It's an artificial imposition because without faith, nobody can live. It is inherent for every living entity. So, but however, so sometimes people get illusion, right? They say I'm a non-devotee and all that. So that time what happens? Narada Muni, like personalities, these confidential devotees of the Lord, they come to treat such illusion living beings. They come and give them a proper treatment and shake them up and remove this illusion. Therefore, such personalities are very pleasing to the eyes of the Lord. Personalities like Narada Muni are very, very pleasing to Krishna. And in fact, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, there is no one more dear to me than one who preaches the glories of the Lord. Anyone wants to say that verse just because you all like verses? Only I am talking. Okay, we'll continue. So, such personalities like Narada, Prabhupada says, should be offered all respects, and he's a pure devotee. He has come here just because he wants to save everything from this conditioned life. So, along with the veena, which is a string instrument, singing the glories of the Lord, Narada Muni here. Text 39. युधिष्ठिर उवाच नाहं वेद गतिं पित्रोर्भगवान् क्व गतावितः अम्भावाहत पुत्रार्थ क्व गता च तपस्विनी. Anyone for translation?
Hare Krishna
I can
Mataji.
take it.
Hare Krishna. Anyone talk? Well, I can. Maharaj Yudhishthira said, O godly personality, I do not know where my two uncles have gone, nor can I find my ascetic aunt, who is grief-stricken by the loss of all her sons.
So he calls his aunt Tapasvini. She's ascetic, and Prabhupada has a lot of comment about it. So he says, I'm not able to see my two uncles. The minute someone comes to the rescue, we go and tell our problems, right? So immediately Yudhishthira Maharaj, he saw Narada Muni. He went running to Narada Muni and he said, oh, you have appeared here. It's my great fortune. I have a problem. I don't see where my uncles are. I don't see them. I don't know where my aunt has gone. So Prabhupada says Yudhishthir Maharaj is a great devotee of the Lord, and he was constantly conscious of the sufferings of his aunt, who's an ascetic. Now, this is a very beautiful quality of a devotee that is mentioned. a, devo- a devotee by nature is very compassionate. A devotee by nature knows others' problems. They're very sensitive to others' problems. This is one very important quality of a devotee. Sometimes we are so consumed with our own problems. We are always the most important person in our lives, right? We are always thinking about ourselves. So even if we want to help somebody, it is I focused. I am helping this person. It is not that I want to help this person so that that person feels better. It is always about myself, how important I am, how I am the center. Even if you request for prayers, you have to pray for me so that I do well. So everything is me. And this is the nature of all living entities. It is very I-centric. But then a devotee who is really practicing Krishna consciousness with utmost sincerity, there is a shift in consciousness. He's not always thinking about me. He's sensitive. He's sensitive to others' problems also. He understands things from others' point of view. See how nice Yudhishthir Maharaj, Prabhupada says, he was always conscious of the situation of Gandhari, how much suffering she has gone through. In this world, all of us go through sufferings. Okay, sometimes our sufferings are much more intense than what possibly others can suffer. But then, if we keep thinking, I am the only one who's suffering, it just shows how egoistic we are. Actually, when we open our eyes and we look around, we can see the suffering multifold in so many living entities. Sometimes we should feel that we are so much more fortunate than others. Meaning, at least Krishna has been very merciful to me that I still have a roof over my head, I still have food to eat. That itself is a great blessing, right? So, a devotee should not just be consumed, he should not be very self centered, always thinking about oneself. See, everything is happening only to me, only to me. It's not just about you. We just have to open our eyes and look around and see the world. There is so much more suffering. At least we have the gift of Krishna consciousness. Not at least, actually, we are most fortunate. We are the most bhagyavan because we have Krishna consciousness. Whatever suffering in the material life may be, it is insignificant because of the power of Krishna consciousness that we have. But look at the world around. They have so many problems and they don't even have Krishna consciousness. When Krishna consciousness is there in a person, whatever the material situation may be, that person is fully equipped to face it. That is the power of Krishna consciousness. You see any devotee. Actually, devotees have much more problems than people outside. But the devotees are very well equipped. They know how to handle the problems. Hmm? So we see a very beautiful example of Yudhishthir Maharaj. Yudhishthir Maharaj went through a lot of reversals actually, but at the same time, he was very conscious of the problems of others. He was thinking, my aunt has gone through so much, and he calls her ascetic. He calls her tapaswini. And Prabhupada says, an ascetic is never disturbed by all kinds of sufferings. That makes him strong and determined in the path of spiritual progress. And this Gandhari is a typical example of ascetic because of her marvelous character in many trying situations. She was an ideal woman as a mother, wife, ascetic. And in the history of the world, such character in a woman is rarely found. You know how chaste she was, how she was a correct follower of her husband, how she sacrificed so much in her life, and we see how many trials and tribulations she has gone through in her life, and she sustained through all that. So Yudhishthir Maharaj, two qualities. One is he is very sensitive, he understands the nature of Gandhari, and at the same time, he's also appreciating her, calling her Tapaswini. She has undergone a lot and she doesn't deserve this treatment at this point in time. So he feels responsible. He feels, oh, maybe because of me, such an ascetic woman had to leave home. He feels like that. Text 40. This is Yudhishthir Maharaj talking to Narada Muni. So now he addresses Narada Muni as the spiritual master. He calls him Karnadhara. Karnadhara means captain of the ship, one who steers, one who holds your ear and pulls you. Okay, so basically one who guides you. He's called as a Karnadhara. A spiritual master or the captain of the ship is also Karnadhara. Karnadhara iva pare bhagavan paradar दर्शकः अथा बभाषे भगवान् नारदो मुनिसत्तमः. Anyone for translation, please?
Hare Krishna Mataji. You are like a captain of a ship in a great ocean, and you can direct us to our destination. Thus addressed the godly personality Devarshi Narada, greatest of the philosopher devotees, began to speak. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So he asked Narad Muni. He sees Narada Muni. He says that we're not able to find his fathers and Gandhari. And he says, now that you are here, you are Karnadhara. You're the great, you are the greatest among your Bhagavan, you're a godly personality, you can guide us. So he asks Narada Muni, please direct us to our destination in this terrible situation when we are separated from them. Interestingly, Narada is addressed as the greatest of philosopher devotees. He's considered as a philosopher. And Prabhupada talks about different philosophies. Prabhupada says there are so many different philosophers, and the best of the philosophers are the Bhakti Vedis. Okay? The one who knows the science of devotional service, those who have surrendered themselves to the loving devotional service of the Lord. That's why we have our Prabhupada as Bhakti Vedanta Swami. Among all the Vedantas, Bhakti Vedanta is the topmost. So this Narada Muni is a Bhakti Vedantist. He's a philosopher, and what is the greatest of all philosophy? It is Bhakti. So this Devarshi Narada is the chief, and therefore chief of all devotees, and therefore he is considered the greatest of all philosopher devotees. And unless one is surrendered to a bona fide spiritual master in this particular line, one cannot become a learned philosopher or a devotee. So one should be very faithful to Guru Parampara, one should be a pure devotee, and that is the only way one can become a philosopher devotee. So, like this, Narada Muni, this great philosopher and devotee, he used to visit the place of Maharaj Yudhishthir because the Pandavas were pure devotees of the Lord. So, from time to time, he would like to come and see the Pandavas. Why did he come to see the Pandavas? Because he knew the Pandavas are great devotees. Devarshi Narad was also a great devotee. Pandavas were also great devotee. So he was always ready to give them good counsel whenever they needed. So whenever Yudhishthira Maharaj was in a problem, like this, help would come. When devotees are in a problem, definitely help will come through other devotees. Right? We have seen that in our own lives, in so many difficult circumstances. You might feel very alone, but suddenly there will be a devotee who will come to you at the right time and give you the right counsel and help you through the situation. So this is the nature of devotee network. So as soon as Yudhishthira Maharaj had an issue, the great sage Narada Muni, yeah, we're in the scene. So let's see what Narada Muni says. Narada Uvacha Ma Kanchana Chucho Rajan Yadishvara Vasham Jagat Loka Sapala Yasyene Vahanti Balin Ishitu Samyunakti Bhutani Sa Eva Viyunakti Cha. Anyone else?
I can read Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Sri Narad said, O pious king, do not lament for anyone, for everyone is under the control of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, all living beings and their leaders carry on worship to be well protected. It is He only who brings them together and disperses them. Hare Krishna.
Jai. Very beautiful analogy, right? Therefore, he is the one who brings them together and he disperses them. In many parts of Bhagavatam, you will find these analogies of how the Lord brings together people and disperses them. We are all thinking, this is my father, this is my mother, my husband, my child. But we all know, we have seen in our own lives, till the age of 20, 25, you're with your parents, and suddenly you're dispersed, you're in some other country, right? And then after 26, you get married, 27, you're getting married, you have your wife, your children, then at a particular age, you're separated from your spouse. And then for some days, you're under the protection of your children, you're separated from your children, they are separated from you. Who is with whom forever? Nobody is nobody's relation forever, right? So the Lord only brings everyone together and he only desires, he only says, okay, enough, and he disperses them. And to explain this in Bhagavatam, there are many analogies given throughout Srimad Bhagavatam. You'll see, like, I think Kunti Maharani prays, it is like different sticks and water. Sometimes there are some leaves and sticks and some branches and running water like the Ganga. They all come together sometimes and then they get dispersed. They're sometimes nearby together, sometimes they are dispersed away. I think she tells this when she meets Vasudev. I don't remember this, but somebody says this. Or Vasudev says this to maybe Nanda Maharaj, something like that. It's
Kamsa.
there in us. He says to Kamsa?
Yes, yes, Mataji. When
Yeah,
he's
yes.
about
Okay.
Save Maharaj, when Kamsa hears the Asharira Vani, he goes to kill, and at that time he gives the karma mimamsa yoga, all those he gives, and then he says, "Why are you afraid of death? Death happens to everybody. We come like when it rains." All the dust and sticks come together and again we are dispersed. He gives that theory to Kamsa.
Yes, good. That is one analogy. The other analogy given, I think this is later in, if I'm not wrong, in the fourth canto at some point, this comes that people come together sometimes in a place for drinking water. Like you have these little, water dispensing places in summer. People come together, or even for that matter, in a restaurant, Prabhupada sometimes calls it a restaurant. So people might come together in a restaurant or an eating place or a drinking place, and then they're not there forever, right? After some time, they get dispersed. They just move away, and they're not always together. So like that, so many examples are given throughout Bhagavatam. I think even in the next verse also, Prabhupada talks about how, not this verse, maybe later verse, or in this verse itself, I'm not sure. Anyway, he talks about how sometimes. mm, the child may be playing in sand. He might build a sand castle. It may appear that everything is coming together, but then he gets bored of it, and he himself destroys that entire place and he goes away, and everything gets dispersed. So, like that, that is the nature of this material world. No one is with anybody forever, correct? So we all come together at some point, and then we are all dispersed. Therefore, this verse says, this is Narada Muni's words. He says, "Oh pious king, Yudhishthir, don't lament for anyone." We are thinking that we are the maintainer of everybody. This maintainership is a very common, it's a reflection of our ego. Huh? We think we are the controller. Everything is in my control, and I am taking care of everybody. This happens often like for example, it's a doership mentality actually. We are thinking we are taking care of them. In Yudhishthira Maharaja's case, he's thinking Gandhari, Dhritarashtra, all of them are old. They are under my custody. I have to take care. It is me who is taking care. I am feeding them. Right? So this happens with all of us. We think when we have our old parents, we're thinking we are taking care of them. When we are young, our parents are thinking they are taking care of us. But actually, who's taking care of whom? All living beings and their leaders are being taken care of by the Supreme Lord. He is the one who's taking care of everybody. And this we have seen in the life of Sridhara Swami. Sridhara Swami, when he wanted to take sannyas, he had a young baby. But he was thinking, how am I going to leave this child and go? How will the child sustain itself? And then he sees a little baby lizard. He's just taken birth, and that baby lizard suddenly found some food. He just chucked his tongue out, he ate that food, and he sustained. So then Sridhar Swami thought, actually, who's giving food to everybody? Am I the provider? No, that is the Supreme Lord. And then he was inspired to move on in a sannyas ashram. Of course, we can't imitate great personalities. I have a lot of attachments. I don't think that I can maintain myself, like that. Krishna is the pro. It takes a lot of maturity in Krishna consciousness to come to that point, but definitely we can be inspired, and we can at least hope to imbibe such a mood in the near future. So anyway, this is the everybody, all living beings and their leaders carry on worship to be well protected. Who's protecting? It is he alone who brings them together and disperses them. So Narada Muni is telling, you are not taking care of them. Everybody is under the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Prabhupada very nicely this purport. He says, see, every living being, you all know this famous word of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada often says, who's feeding the elephants? The elephants need so many thousands of tons of food. Who's providing the food? It is the Supreme Lord. Is the elephant saying that I'm dying out of starvation? No. Everybody is taken care of by the Supreme Lord. So every living being, either in this material world or in the spiritual world, is under the control of the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So right from Brahmaji to an insignificant ant, everybody is under the control of the Supreme Lord. And our position is that we are always subordinate to the Supreme Lord. But however, sometimes under illusion, we rebel and we become like an asura, and we break the rules and regulations of the Supreme Lord. And we have seen that even in modern history, great kings like Napoleon, Akbar, Alexander, all of them, they thought they were great controllers, but then they were removed from their respective positions by the will of the Lord. Same thing happens with great demigods like Brahma, Shiva, Indra, Chandra, or even kings like Maharaj Yudhishthir. Nobody is permanent in their position. Sometimes they are in a position, sometimes they're completely taken out of the position. Nobody is independent. So today you have a job, tomorrow you may not have a job. You are not independent. Everything is under the control of the Lord, right? So no position is permanent. But then there are people who rebel. They rebel against the Supreme Lord. So such a person is considered foolish. So Maharaj Yudhishthir, he was being convinced of the stated truth. He was thinking he's the maintainer, he's the controller. But then Narada Muni is coming and breaking that idea. He says that don't get so overwhelmed by the sudden departure of your uncles and aunt. Everything is happening by the will of the Supreme Lord. You're not the maintainer of anyone. They will take care of themselves. So Maharaj Yudhishthir was told that this Dhritarashtra, he's placed in that position according to his past deeds. And he has already enjoyed what he has to enjoy in the kingdom. And for him, it is time for him now to go to the forest. So it is his destiny. Somehow or the other, he's placed in that situation by the Supreme Lord. And let him go. You cannot control anything. Okay. So ordinarily, one cannot change the course of one's happiness or distress. It is not possible. Everyone has to undergo their own set of pain and happiness. It will all happen automatically. So it all comes through the arrangement of Kala, that is invincible time. And there is no point trying to counteract all this. So we just submit to the will of the Lord and we continue to do our duty very sincerely. It's not that we're just submitting to the Lord and we are stopping doing our activities. We continue to do without the attachment that I am the doer. So in this way, Supreme Lord controls everybody. So this is the first teaching Narada Muni has given. Narada Muni told him, they have left, they will be taken care of. You are not taking care of them. The Supreme Lord will take care of them. And remember, you're not going to be with anybody forever. People are going to come together. They are going to be dispersed. This is nature. Text 42. Let's see what he says further. यथा गावो नसी प्रोतास्तन्त्यां भक्तश्च धामभिः वाक्तन्त्यां नामभिर्भक्ता वहन्ति बलिमीशितुः. This is also a very important analogy. And it is repeated in Bhagavatam in multiple places, this analogy. I'll read the translation and you will find at least 3 or 4 places in Bhagavatam, the same analogy will be given. As a cow bound through the nose by a long rope is conditioned, so also human beings are bound by different Vedic injunctions and are conditioned to obey the orders of the Supreme. This is very interesting. For those who have been to Indian villages, you might see that sometimes a bull, a male cow, is tied to the pole through the, you know how the cows are controlled, right? Through the nose. They pull a rope and they are controlled through that. So they put a long rope through the nose and then it is tied to a pole. And in villages, you will see they are tied to a pole and it is that rope will be quite long. The rope's radius is quite long. So you can imagine there is a pole and the bull is tied through the nose and the radius of the rope is quite large. And on the floor, on the ground, they put a lot of rice, the harvested what do you call the harvested rice? I mean, not the rice that comes out, that paddy. They just put that. And the bull starts moving round and round because he's tied to that pole, right? So he starts moving down, round and round to trash that, trashing the husk of the rice, they say. I don't know if that is the right terminology. But they do that. You'll see in pictures, you can go Google and see. So the bull is made to go round and round. Okay, so bottom, we have all this paddy that is strewn and he's going to walk over it so that even in modern day, you know what they do? If you go near the countryside, they come and they throw this paddy on the roads, because when the cars go, they loosen up that paddy, and then it's easy to husk the rice. Okay. So today, in modern day, that is what they're doing. They're putting it on the road so that the cars can go over it. I've seen it in some country areas and some places. I was wondering, why are they doing this? They are wasting everything. No, it's a science. They are doing it so that they can remove the rice from the husk. It can loosen up and they remove it. So, but that time no cars, right? So what they did was they used to keep a bull. So this bull goes round and round and round, and he keeps walking over it, and finally the crashing of the rice happens. So now, what is this? Why are we talking about that here? By the way, someone has written something in the chat box. Control. They found the verses. Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Okay. So now, this, why do we talk about this? If you, why Bhagavatam is telling this is because you look at the independence of the bull. How much independence does the bull have? His independence is limited to the radius of the rope. Correct? He doesn't have independence beyond that. Actually, he can run around in the entire farm if he was not tied in his nose. If he was not tied, he could have gone anywhere, that entire community he could have walked around. But then now he's tied. So his independence is limited. His independence is limited by the owner of the boat, right? Similarly is our condition. Our independence is limited. Within a limited independence, we are able to function. We also have independence, correct? We also are, what is that? Misuse our minute independence, Prabhupada says often. So we have that minute independence. That minute independence is like the radius of that rope in which the bull can travel. That is our limitation. But then, in the greater scheme of things, who has the complete independent control over us? It is the Supreme Lord, like the owner of the, who has tied him there. So the rope is like the Vedic injunctions. Some rules and regulations are put over us, and then we are controlled by the Supreme Lord. We can move around in a limited radius. Within that limited radius, we do all sorts of nonsense activities. But ultimate control is in the hands of the Supreme Lord. Okay? So this analogy, I think they have put some verses where the analogy comes. Okay. Prabhupada says, every living being, whether he's a man or an animal or a bird, thinks he's fully free. He's free by himself. But actually, no one is free. No one is fully independent. We are all under the control of the Lord. The Lord has put some rules and regulations, and we are functioning within that limited independence. It is not full independence. The laws of the Lord are severe, and they cannot be disobeyed in any circumstance. So, in fact, there are so many man-made laws, Prabhupada says, but these man-made laws, they are even these man-made laws are nothing big when compared to the laws made by God. If you break these small laws, maybe a little bit problem you will face. If you go in freeway where the speed limit is 70, if you go in 1995, yes, you will get a ticket, you will pay some money, and you're done. But then if you break the laws that is put by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they will be massive danger. So these laws thrive, they are greater than the laws of this material world. And what is the name of the laws that is put by the Supreme Lord? It is called as the codes of religion. So if we break the codes of religion, we are bound to suffer. Right? We all know the law of karma. That's why the law of karma is put into place. To break the rules of the Supreme Lord, you have to suffer a lot. You might not see the suffering right away. Like today, I break the speeding rule. I get a speeding ticket. Tomorrow, I can pay the fine and get out of it. But Krishna's laws are very, very severe. I might not see it. I might not be able to even repent for it immediately. So it's a very complicated trap. All living beings in this world have taken up the risk of conditioned life by their own selection. It is our own choice that we are in this material world, and we are entrapped in this material nature. So the only way to come out of it is to obey the laws. The way to get entangled is to disobey the laws. The best way to get out of this entanglement is to agree to the laws of the Supreme Lord. So, but instead of becoming free from the clutches of Maya, these foolish beings, in the name of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Mohammedan, Indian, European, American, Chinese, we are all getting illusioned, and we are not learning to get out of this entanglement. That is what Prabhupada is telling. So we are suffering more and more simply because we are breaking these rules of the Lord, the higher rules of the Lord. So he brings forth the importance of educating leaders. If leaders are educated, then the entire society can be educated. So we should remember that our factual position is that we are servitor of the Supreme Lord, and we should obey the laws of the Lord. Otherwise, if we are entangled in Maya, we will continue to live in this world birth after birth. Okay? To come out of all this, obey the laws and surrender unto the Supreme Personality. And in fact, the surrender is the last instruction in Bhagavad Gita given by the Supreme. It says, Sarvadharman Parishavinam. We have to surrender. That is the only way to come out of this entanglement. What happened so far? Narada Muni, so far, he said, you are not in control. You are thinking you are the maintainer. You are not the maintainer. Everybody is maintained by the Lord. And you don't have to worry about anybody. You are taken care of. And don't think that, oh, I'm great. I have this independence, that independence. No. Everybody is ultimately controlled by the Lord, and you are functioning in your limited independence. Then he says this analogy that I was talking about, the little child that creates like this process. So this is Yata Krindopaskaranam Karanam Samyoga Vikamaviha Ichaya Krituhu Syatam Tataivischeyaya Nrinam. Anyone wants to read translation?
Hare Krishna Mataji. As a player sets up and disperses his playthings according to his own sweet will, so the supreme will of the Lord brings man together and separates them. Hare Krishna.
And so just like our little kid brings all his Lego pieces, like in today's world, we see these kids, they're so fond of Lego. So they have their Legos spilled all over the house. They have little pieces that, and the worst part is when you step on those little pieces, it's like showing you hell. It's so painful to step on those Lego pieces. So they have these little pieces split all over the place. But then when they are very happy, they want to play with Lego, they collect somehow or the other, they become so smart. They collect all these pieces from every nook and corner of the house. They put it together, they create a marvelous whatever design they want, a temple or whatever. They create that. And then once they are bored with it, they want to create something else, they just break it. They break it and again it is dispersed all around the house. Again, you have to step on it and again you have to scream. So this is the nature of a child, and this is the nature of the Lord also. So the Lord is like a player. What is he doing? He's bringing things together. He's bringing all of us together, and he's also separating all of us from time to time. So this is what this verse is saying. Very beautiful analogy. Prabhupada says, we must know for certain that the particular position in which we are now set up is an arrangement of the Supreme. We are, as a family, are together means it is the arrangement of the Supreme. And how did we get this arrangement? According to our acts in the past. According to our past karma, we have reaped certain actions, certain results, and we are together because of our past actions. The Supreme Lord is present as the Paramatma in the heart of every living being, and he knows our activities. He knows what all we did in the past lives. So based on that, based on our actions, he's awarding us certain reactions and he's putting us in a particular place with some people. So the rich man, he is born with a silver spoon in his mouth, but the child who has come as the rich man's son deserved such a place, and therefore he is placed there by the will of the Lord. So if somebody is born rich, yes, it is because of his past karma. The Lord is watching everything. He's the Paramatma, and he says, okay, you deserve this kind of a birth, so you must be born there. And the same thing is to do with the poor person also, based on his karma. But however, neither the rich man nor the poor man has any control over his meetings and separations. Does he have control in which house he'll be born? No, he has absolutely no control. Does he have control over whom he wants as his father, mother, or wife or child? No, it is not possible. It is all under the control of the Supreme Lord based on one's karma. So the Lord is just, we must remember that the Lord is creating this world. He's bringing people together and he's dispersing people together by his own will. Okay. So, but however, based on our karma, we get the reactions to our actions. That's all. Our karma is deciding certain things, but that is in a limited sphere. But beyond all that is the supreme control of the Lord. He is the child who's playing, who's bringing things together, who's dispersing things. But based on our karma, we decide in which part of that Lego block we get our position. Okay, and how we can come together and how she can get dispersed from that place. So, so the example of the player that is cited in this verse is very appropriate. For the supreme will is absolutely free to do whatever he likes. Because he is all perfect, there is no mistakes in the actions and reactions he is avoiding. So it is assured in Bhagavad Gita that the Lord saves a pure devotee. Now one may think that, okay, this is all I am receiving the situation by the sanction of the Supreme Lord according to my karma. That means, does it mean that it is all fixed? My karma can never be changed? Prabhupada says, no, not necessary. Because the Supreme Lord is beyond all these rules and regulations. Yes, he is the creator of rules and regulations. Likes to follow the rules and regulations that he has created. Generally, he likes to follow it. But then remember, he's above all of this. Okay? So at any point in time, he can change the reactions. The Lord is able to change the reactions of one's past deeds, and he himself is not bound by the action or reaction. Yes, he will change it, provided it is favorable for our Krishna consciousness. If it is favorable, if it is going to bring us closer to him, he will do it. If by not sanctioning it, it's going to bring us closer to him, he will not sanction it. So everything the Lord will do based on whether it is going to bring us closer to him or not. So this is the nature of the Supreme Lord. Yes, Prahlad. यन्मन्यसे ध्रुवं लोकम् अध्रुवं न च चोभयम् सर्वथा न हि शोच्यास्ते स्नेहात् अन्यत्र मोहजात्. Anyone wants to translate that?
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Mataji. O king, in all circumstances, whether you consider the soul to be an eternal principle, or the material body to be perishable, or everything to exist in the impersonal absolute truth, or everything to be an inexplicable combination of matter and spirit, feelings of separation are due only to illusory affection and nothing more. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, feelings of separation are due only to illusory affection and nothing more. Whether you think the soul is an eternal principle, or whether you think the material body is perishable, or whether you think everything is within the Supreme Lord, or everything is a combination of matter and spirit, whatever your philosophy may be, pretty much, whatever your philosophy may be. If you're thinking the soul is eternal, the soul is the servant of the Lord, these bodies are perishable, these are all bodily relationships, or if you're thinking this relationship itself is permanent, or if you're thinking it's a combination of both, whatever your philosophy may be, remember, feelings of separation are only due to illusory affection and nothing. It is an illusion. But however, feelings of separation from Krishna is the opposite of illusion. That again, Prabhupada will say towards the end of the book. So let's see what Prabhupada says. It's a very philosophical statement given by Narad Muni. He's trying to pacify Yudhishthir Maharaj, because at this point Yudhishthir Maharaj is feeling intense separation from Dhritarashtra, Vidura and Gandhari. And he's feeling very bad. But Narad Muni is telling him there's no need for you to feel so much separation. It is only an illusion. They don't think you're the maintainer. At the same time, don't have so much intense feelings of separation. Yes, we do miss our loved ones. We do miss people that we like a lot, but we should not get engulfed by that separation and lose ourselves and lose the purpose of life. We have seen the story even in the 7th canto where Hiranyakashipu comes and gives advice to his mother Didi Devi and his sister-in-law Rushabhanu. He talks about the two birds. He says once, Yamaraj came and told the story in the form of a boy to the warriors. I forget the name of the warrior. The warriors' wives. He says the story of two birds. How one bird was captured by a hunter and the other bird was simply lamenting in separation. And then finally, what happened? Even that bird had to lose its life because it was so absorbed in lamentation, it forgot its outer circumstances, and it was again captured by the hunter, and that bird also had to lose its life. So we should remember that intense, affection is important, but this intense attachment and that the feelings of separation engulfing you is only an illusion. We should be very mature to understand that yes, we do feel we do feel bad when we are separated from someone, but it should not make you forget your prime duty, which is understand your true self and do devotional service towards Krishna. So purport. Somebody gave a message. Let's see that message. Two wives of Suyatnya. Yes, Mataji, they are right. The wives of Suyatnya. Yes. Thank you. Okay, purport. Prabhupada says, the actual fact is that every single living being is a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. And our constitutional position is that we are subordinate to the Supreme Lord. So whether we are in a conditioned state in this material world or we are in a liberated position in the spiritual world, we should remember we are always under the control of the Supreme Lord. But those who do not understand this, they do not understand their real position, they are actually illusion, and they are thinking that this body, which is made out of 5 material elements, is going to be eternal. But however, we should understand that this body is actually perishable, and the relationships that one body has with another body, that is also temporary. So he talks about different philosophies also here. He says some people, they think that the merging of the spirit, he talks about different philosophies. He says there are others who also believe that in the merging of the spirit soul in the supreme spirit, when it is uncovered by material engagement, these are the Mayavadis. And there are others who believe in the existence of spirit or soul, but believe in tangible matter. They do not believe in spirit or soul, but they only believe in tangible matter. So like that, various philosophers are there. But then whatever your philosophy may be, remember that in either of the above cases, the force of the divine energy is uncheckable. No one has any hand in it. And thus, there is no cause of grief. Nothing, nobody's relationship is actually permanent in this material world. Feelings of separation is only an illusion. But the corrective feeling of separation that one should develop is one should develop the feeling of separation towards Lord Sri Krishna, because that is our only constitutional position. Our true relationship is only with Krishna. This will be the last verse for today. I think so. Or maybe 46 is the next step. 36. We'll see Narada Muni's teachings further. तस्माज्जहि अङ्गवैक्लव्यम् अज्ञानकृतमात्मनः कथं त्व अनाथः कृपण वर्ते रामस्ते च मां विना. Anyone wants to read translation?
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna. Therefore, give up your anxiety due to ignorance of the self. You are now thinking of how they, who are helpless, poor creatures, will exist without you. Hare.
So he's telling just give up this anxiety because it is the ignorance of the self. It is ignorant to think that you are everybody. When we think of our kith and kin as being helpless and dependent on us, it is due to our ignorance, Prabhupada says. Every living creature is allowed all protection by the order of the Supreme Lord in terms of each one's acquired position in the world. That's why the Supreme Lord is called as Bhutabhrit, the maintainer of all living entities. Famous story of Sripad Ramanujacharya. Everybody says the story, right? In the reels, Facebook reels, you often see this story. By all the pictures, they all say this lovely story that there was once a very poor man who had many children. He had some 10 or 15 children, and he didn't have a way of sustenance, and he couldn't feed his children. So every day he would go and stand in the line so that he would get some prasadam. In the temple, they give free prasadam, right? So he would go and stand in the line so that he gets free prasadam, and he would take prasadam for his children also. Then there was a lot of complaints. So this man is always here for prasadam. He's eating all our prasadam. So this happens sometimes in our temples also. Sometimes people are always targeted. Some people are targeted. They are packing for everybody and going. So like that, this man, he was targeted. And there is a story of how Sripad Ramanujacharya. He hears these complaints that this man is always standing in the line and he's taking prasadam. He's not going and working and earning his food. So that's when Sripad Ramanujacharya goes and talks to this man, this old man, and that man says, look at my situation. I'm really very poor. I don't know how to feed my family. I have such a big family and my children go hungry. What can I do? This is the only way of sustenance. And that is when Ramanujacharya tells him to chant this one name of Krishna, which is Bhutabhrit. Bhutabhrit. He says, keep chanting Bhutabhrit. He is actually the maintainer of all living beings. You're thinking you are the maintainer, or unless you go and earn, or unless you stand in the line. Actually, yeah, Krishna Prasadam only is maintaining them. That is right. But Ramanujacharya says actually Krishna is the maintainer of everybody. Just chant his name. He will arrange for your prasadam every day, even without you coming here. And he takes this instruction very seriously to his heart. And with all love and devotion, he chants Bhutabhrit every day. Like, you know how you're chanting your Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, he keeps chanting. And Lord Ranganath himself goes every day taking a big carrier meals for the children and he provides. A very sweet story. You find even Gaurang Prabhu and so many other Prabhus talking about the story. That the Lord is actually the maintainer of all the Bhuta. Bhuta means all living entities. Bhrit, he is the maintainer, Bhatta. So he is our Bhartu, he is our husband. So he is maintaining. Once, I just recently, like 3-4 days back, we get this email, you know, our spiritual master. There is a group that they send some quotes from our spiritual master. So that day morning, I wake up and I look at that message and it says, do you think the source of your income, you're getting maintained by the source of your income? No, Krishna is the ultimate maintainer of all living beings. Your source of income is not maintaining you. So this is the first thing I read in the morning. So like that, sometimes we get these wake-up messages. And that your Prabhupada is telling Krishna is known as Bhutabhrit. He is the one who's maintaining and protecting all living beings. Don't think that you are maintaining. Where is this instruction coming? This instruction is being told by Narada Muni to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Because Yudhishthira Maharaj is thinking, I am the maintainer. He's telling, no, The Lord is known as Bhutagrat. He is the maintainer of everyone. So just discharge your duties and the Supreme Lord will give protection to everyone. This is very clearly explained. Okay? Last verse, 36. Kala karma gunatmino deho yam pancha bhautikaha katam anyams to gopaye sarpagrasto yata param. Translation, anyone?
Hare Krishna Mataji. This gross material body made of 5 elements is already under the control of eternal time Kala, action Karma, and the modes of material nature Guna. How then can it, being already in the jaws of the serpent, protect others? Hare Krishna Mataji.
Correct, right? Already we are in the jaw of a serpent and we are trying to protect others. That's our funny situation in this world. It's like a drowning man is trying to protect another drowning man. So if a man is drowning, then he should seek protection outside. If one is already in the jaws of the serpent, how can he protect someone else who is suffering? This is our nature. We are under 3 controllers. So are the controls, the Kala, which is eternal time, Karma, the modes of material nature, Karma, our actions, and Guna, which is the 3 modes of material nature. So, Prabhupada is telling every conditioned living entity is under the full control of material nature, represented by eternal time and activities, under the dictation of the 3 modes of material nature. 3 factors are mentioned here. And when we talk about modes of material nature, we know that there are 3 modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. And Prabhupada comments a little bit about this. He says that generally, most of us, we are in the mode of passion and ignorance. And because we are in the mode of passion and ignorance, we cannot even see things clearly. So unless we come to the mode of goodness, we cannot see things as they are. This is very important. To come to the platform of knowledge, one should first come to the mode of goodness. Unless one comes to the mode of goodness, one will not get spiritual knowledge correctly. Okay, that's why there is so much emphasis on building proper character. It is very important for us to relish Krishna consciousness. First, we should come at least to the mode of goodness. At least that is when knowledge will dawn upon us. And Atma Gyan, or knowledge about Krishna, when you really want to gather, it's not about reading books. It's about connecting to Krishna on a spiritual level. That can come only if you at least come to the mode of goodness. Only the man and the quality of goodness can help to a certain extent. Most persons are passionate or ignorant, and therefore their plans and projects are not doing good for everyone. Above the modes of nature is eternal time. So at least we should be in the platform of goodness. That is one thing we learn here. And it is not just the 3 modes of material nature. Above the 3 modes of material nature, there is eternal time that is called as Kala. And Kala is shaping everything in this material world. So we see how the effect of Kala is. Sometimes we are trying to do something good, but then by the effect of Kala, our activities are all frustrated. So that's why this Kala is sometimes called as Kala Sarpa. It's like a cobra snake. The bite of a cobra snake is always lethal. So even if we're trying to put in efforts in the right direction, sometimes it is all foiled by the effect of time. We have noticed this over and over in our own lives. How we are trying our best to do things, but then by the effect of time, everything is getting into oblivion. So, but the best remedy to get out of this cobra-like snake of Kala is the process of. So we have to do bhakti, and only when we do bhakti, we are able to get out of the clutches of Maya, which is controlled by Kala, Karma, and Guna. So this Kala, Karma, Guna, if we have to surpass all the control of these 3 very severe controlling elements, we have to take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna through the process of. So we'll stop here. His teachings are not ended. He will continue to speak a few more verses. And then Maharaj Yudhishthir will see if he feels better or not and what he does next. We'll stop here. Any questions? Someone wanted to add something, Pranad, on the raised hand.
Pranam Mata. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. Regarding this Kal Vyal, Mukhagrasa Trasa, Nirnasa Hetave, Trimad Bhagavatam Sastram Kalo, Kirena Bhasitam. And this is the slok which says that Sukdev Goswami, who is the Kirana, the Kira, he has spoken Srimad Bhagavatam just to finish this Kala, Kala Vyala. Vyala is the serpent. Kala Vyala Mukha Grasa
Yeah.
Trasa. So, the Mukha, we are all in the grips of the jaws of the Kala, and that's like a Vyala, like a snake, serpent. And to finish that, Sukdev has spoken this Srimad Bhagavatam for people in Kali Yuga like that. That was one slok like that. And the another one was regarding Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bhuta Brunnacha Bhutasto Mamatma Bhuta Bhavan. He's the one who's maintainer of all the conditioned souls. That's what he's telling there. Nacha Matastani Bhutani Pasyame Yogo Aiswaram Bhuta Brunnacha Bhutasto Mamatma Bhuta Bhavana. That's 9.5 like that. And again, another reference was regarding the prarabdha for conditioned souls, and those conditioned souls who have taken shelter of Lord Shri Krishna, what happens to their prarabdha? Brahma Samhita says, Yastvindra Gopam Matvendra Mahoso Karma, Bandhanur Falbhajam Atmati, Karmani Nirdhati Kintuja Bhakti Bhajam. Govinda Madi Purusham. So those who have taken shelter, their prarabdha can be altered by Lord Shri Krishna. That's what I just wanted to add those realizations.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Wow, so many verses, so many references. How wonderful, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Very good. Very good.
Very well. Yes, someone else also this time. I think everyone did the
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for the beautiful class. I had a question, Mataji. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, even during that before teachings of Bhishma Pitama, he was also lamenting, and there also it seemed like you had this doership mentality. I mean, especially for things going wrong, and I think that's the same mood over here. So we've seen, like in the case of like Arjuna and Parikshit, we are told that they are put into the situation for the greater good. So not that it's coming out of their own personality or character, but the Lord orchestrates like that. So something similar like that mentioned for Yudhishthira Maharaj also.
Yes, it is definitely. Mataji, these things, right? It is his nature. See, everyone has a personality. We don't see it as a defect, but we only see it as a lesson that we can learn from this. But it is stemming out of compassion, just like how even for Arjun, it was stemming out of compassion. His him thinking about why he should kill his relatives was stemming out of compassion. It's a good quality. Prabhupada says this is the quality of a devotee. Only a soft-hearted person can hear the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, he says, right, in the last part of chapter 1. So a soft heart is very important to be a devotee, actually. But then sometimes that softness can be misdirected, and Krishna comes to correct that. The answer, the point that you're making is also correct. Sometimes very close devotees who are very exalted are used as tools for Krishna to teach certain certain lessons to the entire world. Just like how Arjuna was used as a tool to teach all of us. Similarly, Yudhishthira Maharaj, a great devotee, is also put in certain conditions where it appears that superficially he's thinking he's the doer. But all this we should also understand as stemming out of compassion. It is a very good quality of a devotee. He feels responsible. But then that feeling should not overcover one's activities. So that is the lesson we learn from this. And sometimes devotees are chosen to exhibit these qualities.
Yeah, makes sense, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji. Wonderful class. Mataji, I do have a question here. And it is about, you were talking about how Yudhishthir Maharaj also, during the whole the Dronacharya incident, Ashwatthama. Um, yeah, so that time also, Krishna could have again orchestrated it in a different way. Why did he make it in such a way that it looks like he's cheating the rest of the Kauravas, and he's cheating everybody openly on the battlefield? Same, throughout the war, so many such incidents where every time Krishna's hand is there, and it looks like he's being very unfair or partial. So why couldn't he have played things in such a way that, or because any feat is possible for him, he could have done things in a different manner where nobody would question the Supreme Lord's actions there.
I'll ask you a
Why did he
question. Hindu Mataji, answer to your question is another question. You like Krishna doing all this, or you like Krishna just being a
No, the
good boy?
moment you brought it
Like,
up, like, so the reason why I asked was, you were on speaker, and everybody in the house was listening to your class, and at that time they had all of a sudden I was bombarded with so many questions from my family. Why does Krishna do this? He could do things in a much more nicer way where he looks good, but why does he
why do
want
you
to
think
make
this
us
doesn't
be
look good?
bewildered?
So there are two ways of looking at it. One may like Krishna just because he does these things. Isn't he more attractive when he does all this? Otherwise, he'd be such a boring person. I mean, I don't want to worship a Lord who's so serious and who's so boring. I mean, he does so many fun things. When you have a child at home, when your son was young, would you like your son doing a lot of mischief, running around the house, breaking things, and just
So
creating
when they are
a
young, it
mess?
is very
Or you like
cute.
a very quiet boy who doesn't move, who says yes, ma'am, for everything, and then it's a very disciplined child? Who would you like?
Definitely a boy who is naughty and who is playful is nice, but when they grow old, if they have the same propensity and if they go and steal from other people's houses, then it's a big offense. It's a crime,
Yeah.
right?
So our
So
Krishna never gets old. He's always a naughty kid. He's most attractive like this. Otherwise, God is so boring, Mataji. God should do everything. Okay, you're a Krishna devotee. You like Krishna or Rama? I'm just making fun. Okay, I'm nothing serious.
let's not get there.
Ram was such a good boy, such a good child, but he's so boring as compared to Krishna. The Krishna devotees will talk about Krishna as being great, right? So that is Krishna's personality. It makes him so beautiful. When Krishna runs away from battlefield, he's celebrated as Ranchod Rai. Krishna is
Hmm.
celebrated as butter thief. But is stealing a good habit? No. If you steal, there is a problem, or if your son steals, there is a problem. But if Krishna steals, it is to be celebrated. Right? It makes him so colorful. God is colorful like
I'll try and see if this explanation will pass. Thank you, Mother.
it. With Rasikas.
That's all.
Well, if you want a philosophical answer, you don't want a Rasik answer, you want a philosophical answer, then you can say whatever God does is always perfect. He's always doing it for the higher.
Higher good. Yeah.
Dharmam to Sakshat Bhagavat Taritam. Whatever he does is only dharma. That is the absolute, right? So you can never be wrong with him. If you want a dry answer. Of course, Prahladananda Prabhu and Shyam Gopal Prabhu are waiting to add. Satyam Prabhu
Okay,
also is
please go
there.
ahead. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji.
And yes, Shyam Gopal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you for the class. It was really very great class. And the question I had, first I'll like to say something. So I will like my kid to be up to teenager like Krishna, and after that Rama. So they should listen to me after 14 years. They should start listening to us. But till 14, I will like them to be like Krishna, so they can do naughty things, and I will enjoy it, right? So yeah, and in this Dhrutishthira episode, the Yudhishthira, the on the battlefield, right? When Yudhishthira is asked by Krishna to tell the lie, right? And then after that, his wrath, which was actually not touching the ground, it it touched the ground. I think that the way I was explained by one of the Vaishnava is that it's not because he lied; it is because he did not obey the Krishna's order,
Correct.
right?
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
in the what in this discussion, what I understand is, correct me if I'm wrong, is that whatever is Krishna's order is ultimate, which you have to do. That is the
Mm.
truth. There is
That's
nothing
it.
other than
Yes.
that. So yeah. So even
That's
if
it.
Yudhishthira has said something lie, that actually is not lie because it is done for Krishna. So it is actually the absolute truth. Can you just
That's it.
put some clarity on this?
Prabhu, I think you said it. That's it. It's absolute, Prabhu. Whatever Krishna desires, we do. That's all. And Krishna is the ultimate. Krishna is the absolute. So whatever he says is always perfect. We are the ones who are conditioned, who are full of flaws. If he is asking us to do something, we just listen and we do, and that is perfect. That's all, Prabhu. I don't have anything more to say on it, but yeah, that's how it is. That is how Dharma is. He is the creator of the rules and regulations. He has given the rules and regulations and books for us to follow. Right, that's great. But then if he himself is coming and telling us something, the creator of the rules and regulations is giving a one-on-one instruction to you. Obviously, it should be perfect. Right? So just
Right.
like sometimes there may be some common rules and regulations for the public, but some specific people are chosen and they are given some special instructions. So if they are given some special instructions, what will you follow? Will you follow the special instruction or will you follow the rule for the masses? You will follow the special instruction, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even with the spiritual master also, sometimes the spiritual master might have given so many rules and regulations or instructions in his classes, but then when he calls you separately and he gives you a particular order, that is a special order, you will follow it to the point. You will not see in that lecture you told like this, so I will follow only that. You will give importance to that special.
Right. Thank you, Mother. Yeah.
Pranam Mata. Regarding Lord Krishna behaving like this question, why did he do like that? The same question was asked by Maharaja Sukhdev also, right? He says, why Lord Krishna? He's come to Dharma Samstapna. Why he's doing Raslila and all that? That's where he says, Tejiyam na dosam. When the sun evaporates the filthy water, it doesn't get contaminated. It purifies the muddy water. This is one explanation. Another is that
Yes.
Lord Krishna is Raso Vaisaha. Right? He's full of
Raslila,
all kinds of
yes.
rasas. Right? So, and the third thing is he's an individual. Because Prabhupada gives that
Ah,
answer also. So he can desire which way he wants to do. He doesn't have to comply our desire that why did Lord Rama killed Ali from behind the tree. So all these explanations are given in Shastra like that. But we have to follow Mahajan and Gata Sapanta. So we can always follow the Acharyas. They can give us convincing kind of understanding. Thank you, Mother Harival.
yes, that's why we follow Mahajanas. We don't follow Krishna directly.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Yes, Sindhu
Thank you
Bhattaji.
for the reminder, Prabhuji. That was wonderful.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank
Yes,
you.
Sindhu.
Ask Mataji. I actually asked the same question to my guru when I first heard the book. because many people read the Bhagavad Gita and think Krishna is a cheater. So don't read Gita, right? I didn't ask it in such a way, but my guru somehow figured that all of us had the same question in the class. He actually answered it in a little bit different way. He said, actual cheating that Krishna started was after Abhimanyu died. Abhimanyu died because they did not follow the rules of fighting, where they cannot attack a warrior. One warrior is fighting with another warrior. All of them cannot attack the same person. And after sunset, he had to be let go. They actually did not do that. Many people attacked Abhimanyu at the same time. And after the sunset, they should have let him go. And they broke that rule. If you see the entire episode of Kurukshetra, that is when Krishna said, you think you can cheat? I am the cheater of the cheat, right? I can cheat much better than all of you. That knowledge that you have to cheat is also coming from me, to show that he started. Till then, if you see the Kurukshetra war, everybody followed the rules. Only after Abhimanyu was killed by cheating that Krishna turned the tables. It happens even in a game. If you see 3 of us or 4 of us at home, we're playing. If you know somebody is cheating and they're not ready to accept, you also start cheating, and to show them, yeah, hey, win by cheating. You know, it's so easy to win by cheating. So Krishna had to show that to them, and Krishna is a bigger cheater than the cheat. If we think we can cheat, Krishna can cheat us much better. So that's the explanation that my guru gave me when first time I heard. He actually gave all the questions and the answers, and he said many people think, Bhagavad Gita is not a good book. Krishna cheats. Krishna is that and this, and then he gave this example that Krishna started it only after Abhimanyu was killed by cheating. There are 2 rules which were broken of the war. One is when a single warrior is playing another warrior, others should not attack, and he was attacked by everybody at the same time. And the second thing is, it was very close to sunset or something, then he had to be let out. They didn't let him out. They were all planning to, kill him. So after that, the tables turned and Krishna started cheating. Thank you, Mata.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And I was researching that Kamsa thing. I did not find it. I've read it somewhere, like you said.
No, it should be the meeting of Nanda and Vasudev Mataji. I'm remembering now. Yeah. There in that section you'll find it. Yeah.
Thank you, Mata. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. Thank you so much, Nanda.
Yes, Mataji, you are right. It is between Nanda and Vasudev. The verse is 10:5-25.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay. So if there are no other questions, reflections, you can end here. Thank you all so much for participating. Nandhya Vansha Kalpataruvishya Prakasandobeyacha Patidanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Shri Shri Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. Mataji, from next verse, I think it's verse 47.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, thank you.
We can end.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.